how to train and eat like a pro cyclist. First of all, big disclaimer here. I am not a pro cyclist. I am not a dietitian. I am not anything special, but I do have a lot of experience. The last 2 years, I've ridden over 30,000 kilometers a year, 300,000 meters of elevation climbed last year. I would have done more, but the lockdown screwed me this year. I'm gonna still do 30,000 kilometers this year, over 1,000 hours, almost 1,100 last year. I got lots of experience. I have a coach that just got signed to Astana. I'm gonna pop him up there so you guys can check him out. Maybe you need some coaching too. Give him a call. I got tons of experience and I've struggled with my weight my entire life. I got video here on how to lose weight. I got tons of other videos on the workouts that I've done. But today we're going to focus on nutrition. It's something that I have struggled with not only my athletic career, but my cycling career. I've always struggled to lose weight. My advice here for you, I think we need to start at what type of body do you have? I have friends, cycling friends, that struggle to gain weight and they have a different set of obstacles. But if you struggle with losing weight, then you've come to the right spot, because that's what I've struggled with and I can give you my advice on it. Especially when you're training 20 plus hours a week, it's really difficult to find that median of I'm giving myself enough fuel, but am I overeating? My best advice starting off with, if you're training 20 hours plus a week, you need a lot of fuel. And it's very easy to start overeating if you have a personality type like mine, where I go out for dinner, I eat all this bread, and then I want to go out for ice cream after. And the issue is, when you're training that much, your hunger goes right up here. It's like through the roof. You're hungry all the time and you're burning it off. So it makes you feel like you can get away with a lot because you can. I think starting off, if you're training 20 hours a week, you need to eat a lot of food. And I think the easiest way to do that is only eat clean food. If you're eating a lot of unprocessed food, vegetables, fruits, rice, meats, things like that, it definitely helps you fill up, but you're not filling up on junk. Because I know for myself, if I eat junk, I'm getting fat. Also, what I do is when I'm out on the ride, and we're gonna get into how to fuel for these big crazy workouts and these big crazy rides, and I'm gonna tell you guys about the Tucson Shootout. It's one of the craziest group rides I've ever done. We're gonna get into that, and I'm gonna tell you how I feel for that ride and just how crazy it is. But first, what I do mentality wise is I want to have a big breakfast and I want to fuel during the ride. Now, if I'm doing a big crazy ride, like I said, I'm going to be eating more. If I'm doing a base ride, it's cruising at 200 watts for 4 hours, I'm going to eat a lot less. If I'm doing a recovery ride, recovery day, I'm eating a lot less there too. Let's start with a basic day where it's just a base ride and I'm doing, say, 4 hours at 200 watts. I'm gonna eat a medium breakfast, medium to small breakfast, and then I'm gonna eat something every hour, maybe a gel, 100 calories, 30, 40 carbs. And I'm gonna do that every hour, get home, I'm gonna eat something small, and if I'm in huge training mode with the beginning of the year, which I'm gonna be hitting soon, I'm gonna try and take a nap. I'm gonna try and take a 30, 45 minute nap. I know you guys are probably thinking it's crazy, you got a wife and kids, and I talk to my wife and I say, okay, this is my plan for the week. This is the time I want. And what do you want? And we try to arrange it so everyone's happy. Sometimes I have to give, sometimes I have to take, but I'm always communicating with my wife to make sure that she's getting what she needs and I'm getting what I need. We have a great communication system. We ask each other how important it is to each other. Is this a 1? Is it a 2? Is it a 10? And it's very rare that we both hit a 10. If I'm like, this is really important to me, this is like a 10, and she goes, okay, well, it's not that important to me, it's a 5. So anyways, we're getting a little off topic here, but this is kind of how I deal with that if you're thinking about it. And so that's a basic day. All big rides, I try and take a 30 to 45 minute nap after. I eat a little bit, lay down, and then I wait to dinner, and I have a big dinner, a big plate of whatever it is that my wife cooked. It's usually pasta, rice, lots of greens, cooked spinach, a lot of cooked vegetables, green beans, broccoli. And then after, I'll have peanut butter, jam, and crackers. I get a tube of crackers and I just dip them in the peanut butter and jam. That's like my little treat I eat at night. I like to save up the food for night. That's why I have a little bit less after the ride. I know everyone's going to be like, that's crazy. You're supposed to eat it after the ride. But my thinking is, if it can take you 3 days to deplete all your carb stores. So what's waiting a couple hours after the ride gonna do, right? So anyways, this is my thinking, and I'm just telling you what I do, so maybe you can get some tips, take some stuff, leave some stuff, whatever works for you. Just want to share the information that I've learned over the years. I know a lot of other top athletes that do the same thing, where they don't eat as much right after the ride and they kind of save it for dinner. And again, you got to test what works for you. That's a medium day. On a really hard day, say FTP Builder, I got the video of that workout. It's a crazy workout. You should check it out. Say that's one of my harder days. That's probably a level below the shootout. I'm going to get into the shootout here in a second, like I said. So FTP Builder is going to be about 4.5 hour ride. I'm doing it outside, and I'll have a big breakfast. It's about 1,200 calories. Try and focus mostly on carbs. And then every hour, I'm eating about 300 calories. Let me get this right. Yeah, I made a mistake. So on those big rides, I'm doing about 300 calories an hour, 300 to 400 calories an hour. That's 150 to 150 grams of carbs an hour. That's the high end. That's the maximum. And part of me too thinks it's psychological, where you do this crazy 20-minute interval and then you got 3 more to do, and like taking something to eat in between each interval gives you that mental, okay, let's get into the next one. So part of it I think is that, but this is what the pros are doing, 100 to 150 grams of carbs an hour. I wouldn't eat that much, like I said, on a slower day. Now, let's take a shootout. Shootout, for me, I am absolutely gutting myself out there. I am crushing myself. And anyone that doesn't know what the ride is, this is what it consists of. It's the longest group ride that I know of in North America. Maybe if I'm wrong, someone else tell me. But it's about 5 hours. It takes you, if you're riding towards the start, you take a good 30 minutes to ride towards the start, it's going to be over 5 hour day, 5.5 hour day. So ride starts out, you roll out nice and easy for the first 30 to 45 minutes. Then it is full gas for 40 to 45 minutes on a 2-3% steady incline. What makes this so difficult is you don't even get a pedal stroke of rest. It is full gas. One day I made the brake that stayed away, and I think my normalized power was 400 watts for the whole thing, 370 for 40 minutes. It was pretty crazy. So then you get to the end of that segment of the ride, you cruise down to the store where everyone stops, probably 30 minutes to the store. Then you cruise out of the store for 5 minutes. It's 40 minutes tempo, 250, 270 watts. Then it's full gas to the top of Madera Canyon. That's about 20 minutes. Crazy hammer time. Then you come back down, takes about 20 minutes to come down. Tempo to this road, I can't remember the name of it, but you're about 15 minutes uphill. It's about 3-4%. They go pretty hard, high tempo. And then you're going straight downhill for 20 minutes. And this part, you are gassed and it's coming back down the way you first went up, which is -3% grade, for about 20 minutes. And it is, I remember I did this ride and I was sprinting. I'm doing like 600-700 watts to come around each turn, and I felt like each turn was my last. And as we come down, we get back into Tucson and the ride's over. And every time that ride ends, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy, because it is painful. One of the best rides. I'm gonna be doing it this year. I should be in Tucson in March. I absolutely can't wait. But how do I feel for a ride like that? So it's the same thing. I'm on the high end, 150 grams of carbs per hour. I eat a big breakfast. I take a little gel before we roll out. I take another gel or eat a Cliff Bar right before the 40-minute section, a gel after, get down to the store, eat a little bit, and as you can see, rinse, repeat. I'm eating on that ride because the last thing I want to do is get dropped for not eating. Recovery day. What do I do on a recovery day? Now this is going to be controversial because I'm a guy that likes to gain weight and eat too much food. I fast on my recovery day. I fast till about 2 or 3 p.m. and then I slowly bring in some nuts, some peanut butter, and then I have a big dinner and then have a big snack at night. And that's usually how I do it, unless I have a big day the next day, like a test day, or I'm going for my fastest time up Mount Lemmon, or I got the shootout, I got something big happening the next day, I won't fast the day before. This is how I manage my nutrition. Now, what I will say, I've tried everything with nutrition. I've hired a nutritionist where they give you this little chart and there's like a point for each serving of grains, meat, whatever, and it drove me nuts. And what I mean by nuts is like neurotic. Like I'm weighing everything, I'm putting everything in my FitnessPal, I'm weighing myself twice a day. And I find with myself, there's some things that I need to zero in on and get a little crazy about, like my training, staying motivated, things like that. But other things like weighing myself, my diet, my food, counting calories, if I get too crazy about that, what will happen is I'll drive myself nuts and then I'll go, fuck this, and I just don't do it. And then I could eat too much or whatever. So for me, the food has to be balanced. It has to be, okay, this is my plan. These are my principles I stick by. I have an amazing video that you should check out about how I lost 25 pounds to get down to 165. I went from this big fat guy. I'll put the link up here. I'll show you the picture. And I lost a lot of weight. My principles for losing weight. Check that video out if you're interested. I really try and abide by those principles, and I really look at the food as fueling. I try not to overeat. I try to really look if I'm hungry or if I'm just biding my time and saying, hey, eat this, eat that, looking forward to eating. Eating is a crutch. So if I'm out on a ride and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get home and eat, I'm like, oh, that's bad. That's bad. Because I know now that instead of like going home and saying, oh, I can't wait to hang out with my kids, I can't wait to go for this walk or go do this thing or read this book or whatever, I'm now using food as a way to make me happy. And if I start doing that, I'm definitely going to be gaining weight. I hope I covered everything here, guys. I really think food is more of a mentality than it is a looking at it like, okay, all these little we got to do this, we got to do that, we have this meal plan. I mean, I don't know. I think I really want to make this point too. I think it's different for different people. I think, like I said, I know a guy, he has to, and his friend of mine, and a couple of guys like this, and they're worried about losing too much weight. So they have to approach food completely differently than I do, because I have to worry about gaining weight. So there's obviously what I do is going to be completely different what they do. Coming back to my main point, the food for me is I really have to look at it at like, I got to take it too seriously. And if I want to eat something, like I want to taste a cookie or I want this or a piece of pie, I have one piece, because I find if I cut too much stuff out, it'll make me just want to eat everything. And I think that's a really good point. And I think when you're out on a ride, that's my time to eat junk. If I pull over at a coffee shop and everyone's eating a cookie or there's a piece of cake, I'm gonna eat the cake then. And then when I'm not riding, I try not to eat that stuff ever, because I feel like that's my time that I can eat it and get away with it. I hope I addressed some things that you guys were wondering about or helped you guys with some of your nutrition questions. As always, if you found some value in this video, please consider subscribing. Would love to hear from you. Please leave a comment. I always love hearing from you guys. Great part when I wake up in the morning and I see the comments and I respond to them. Always brightens my day. If you liked it, like it, and I will see you guys on the next video. We'll see you soon.